Hi, this is Chris with Wiley Development and Tasty Equity. Welcome to the highlight reels from our monthly webinar series. Let's dip a toe into the water of how tax incentives can fuel your growth because Uncle Sam wants you to never stop creating jobs. We'll also share more about a multi-brand strategy that can allow you to double or triple down in your market, especially if you're already operating another brand. And we'll show you the opportunity to never stop building stores together with us.
Now let's talk about recycling capital. The tax incentives that passed last year are amazing. They built upon very traditional tax incentives that have always been there. And what it really means is if you have and this is just an example, just to make the math easy, think about it on a whiteboard. If you build a store a year at a capital investment of $500,000 a store, and after your accountant does their magic with amortization, depreciation, all that good stuff, the store has a net profit of $100,000 a year. Opening that store under the current tax incentive structure will create, if it's $500,000 project, it'll create $500,000 in tax write-off. That could literally shelter that $100,000 a year for 5 years. If you open a store a year for 3 years, just 3-store plan, you will shelter over $1 million in the first 4 years and still have $300,000 in tax-free income ahead. We don't know how long this will last. It was passed by the current administration. It's good for at least 2 more years. We want to build as many stores as humanly possible. The government wants you to do it. The government wants you to recycle that cash and create jobs. These are just, again, building on traditional amortization depreciation, the old Section 179 accelerated depreciation, which was an incentive to open businesses. The Tax Cut and Jobs Act simply jacked it up to 100% of a qualified investment, but there's one critical requirement. You cannot own the real estate. You can't be invested in the company owns the real estate. This is why you keep hearing me talk about real estate and landlord partnerships. We are capitalizing on these incentives, and you can capitalize on them too. And the tax incentives can flow through to the owner-operator who's operating the store. Those are direct negative incomes. My son, who helped operate a couple of our stores, is one of the owners, and he was trying to do a mortgage application recently, and the bankers were stunned that he had literally negative income for the last 3 years. Pete and I think we experienced that. This is because we keep building restaurants, right? Ray told me for years, never stop building restaurants. It's not that we're manipulating the tax system. We are doing what the government wants us to do. We're creating jobs. Investors who are active in the business, like Pete and I are at Wiley Development Group, we are the back office. We're doing banking and capital markets and HR and payroll and marketing. Those depreciation losses can pass through to us on K1s. For our limited partner friends and family and institutional limited partners, they do get the benefit of the tax incentives, but they do it in a different way. This gets into accounting, but it literally, they can take passive losses against passive gains from other investments, assuming they're making money somewhere else. Sponsor owner operator was built, it was modeled after the pilot that we did with my son, which was a 5-store plan. The idea is that you have all the qualifications in the business, whether you're working for us today or it's a manager working for you today, that you want to help them get a start out into a business that you can own a piece of the equity in. The idea is we will either provide all of the down payment equity or some of the down payment equity in participation with our limited partners. So we'll take care of the equity, you run the restaurant. I like to say, don't run out of food, give great customer service, represent the brand, and watch the bottom line. And we will give the sponsored owner operator the opportunity in a 3 to 5 store plan to build enough equity that they can build stores without us in the future. The joint venture market partner, this is best suited for folks like those of you who responded that you are landlocked. If you can't build any more of your brand in your market, consider building either or both of our brands in your market. To help you accelerate that, we're willing to co-fund those deals together. We're working on a number of these opportunities around the country. The objective is to accelerate the growth of our brands together. My goal, as I said, along with Brother Pete, is to own a piece of as many restaurants as humanly possible when we reach that milestone of 200, which is our goal. This is a partnership program, though, for existing operators who already have supervisors run around in the market, who know the landlords. But, you know, for example, a lot of Subway guys are cash strapped. I have a friend that has 9 Subways. He's barely paying the mortgage on his house with 9 Subways because the volume's collapsed on him. There are people challenged in other brands. So he doesn't have the money to go build more stores, but he has the operational capacity to do it. Joint venture limited partners are, again, like friends and family, like we started with, and then we've expanded to institutional partners who like the fast casual space. They do not want to take on the risk of being invested in a single restaurant. They want to invest across a portfolio, and they want to build a portfolio. Many of these folks are out shopping for 5, 10, 20, 30 unit operators where they can buy into a chunk of the operation. We're giving them away on a programmatic basis to be invested in multiple stores as we scale the brands. There are opportunities for these folks both in the ownership of the restaurant business, co-funding with us, and completely separately, our real estate development partners in some cases are willing to entertain real estate investors who co-invest with them. You can join us completely independently as an area developer or a franchisee. That's why Ray's on the line. Ray's organization, Rapid Fire Pizza Franchising, Hothead Burritos Franchising, are two independent franchisors. We, Pete and I, are an independent franchisee, just trying to build a bunch of stores. The gold states are states where we have active area developers in one or both brands. There are still opportunities. The area developer in Texas, for example, covers the Dallas-Fort Worth and kind of North Texas market. There's still opportunities in the southern half of the state. Florida, we have Rapid Fire and Hothead developers there. California, there's only Rapid Fire. We're entertaining a couple of Hothead developers. The green states are states that are comfortably within the supply chain. They're absolute priority for us. They have a lot of population that is familiar with the brands because of proximity to the states where we have stores open. All of the blue states are currently licensed. The point of this is you can join us as an area developer. There are very few emerging brands that do, where top quartile stores do $1 million a year that are recognized on the national stage where you can go control an entire market. If you were in the subway system and you watched the lifestyle and the financial capacity of your development agents as they grew their businesses, this is your chance to be a development agent. We just happen to call it an area developer. If you're like a gentleman I spoke to in California yesterday and you simply want to put up 4 or 5 stores in a market you control and don't worry about anybody else, we're good with that too, and we'll even consider co-investing with you on the Wiley development side of the business. First scenario, we fund. We are willing to step in and help fund the equity down payments for qualified operators. I'm going to talk about how and why. And we also use that mechanism to overcome this challenge of recruiting qualified store management. Ray opened, Ray, how many Rapid Fires you opened last year? Was it 8, 9, 10?
That was 2017. I think we did 9. Personal stores.
Okay, 2017, opened 9 stores. Yeah, and literally anybody that was in the management team or a shift leader had an opportunity to become a general manager, right? So Wiley Development Group, we're embracing a sponsored owner strategy. It can work for people in your team who want to grow into that 3 to 5 store plan, or for qualified, seasoned operators crossing over limited capital. Joint venture market partners are folks who have stores in another market. Those of you who are landlocked, we are willing to co-invest with you. Rather than you doing a couple stores, let's build 3 to 5 together and you operate. We'll help with the capital structures. The joint venture limited partners, will go into a little more detail. They can help in both of the other 2 scenarios. The sponsored owner operators and joint venture market partners, we lead the investments. Our limited partners work with us together to get into the game without having to leave their day jobs. Again, check us out on the Wiley Development Group Facebook and or Wiley Development Group YouTube channel. You can watch recordings of these events.